It's one of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below in the snow for dough. Over 120 in the sun for fun. They mash for hours, hooker baths, not showers. Bright and early, down and dirty for the cash and power. They gotta get the cash, the towers, and reach it all to a pimp. In my position, I'm all but exempt. These bras not wimps, I'm like them renegade bitches. BFFs with tricks but never getting paid riches. Grenade bitches, they dynamite, blowing up on the pimpin' and missing when the time is right. But when they life gets strife, they see pimpin' shining bright, but they action is life without. Bitch, one strike, you out. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. See, that's the difference, nigga. The pimpin' mashing for these riches, nigga. Nothing like you master magician, niggas. Smoking mirrors with your game, hella extras to reflect the opposite appearance of a lame. Bitches coming from y'all, I can't rock with those. Tender-footed and rooted in them doctor shows. Soft shoe rituals, minute residuals. Papers on life support, your loots and critical. Something I learned about when running my earned route. And working with turnouts is murdering burnouts. Cause not one of you niggas for a scarred bitch. Niggas for some garbage. I'm heartless regardless. Empty with sympathy, but banked up to the max with pimpathy. No remedy for me, I'm like this. My life is vice grip, synced in permanent ink. You can't rewrite this. My blood type is P positive, beautifully deposited with a lot of it. I'm popping this shit, and when I pop it so hard I make a trapping ass bad bitch wanna hoe hard. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. Come on, pimpin', man, pop that shit. Show these sucker niggas they can't stop that shit. Let these hookers know if they wanna cop that shit. Treat the bag like it's hot, bitch, and drop that shit. Dig. And to you hoes, if you ever took a loss, bitch, show these bitches how to bounce back like a boss, bitch. Let them know that the best way to floss, bitch, is reach that paper to some pimpin' hoe and toss it. Can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Poppin' pimpin', nigga, can't stop, won't stop. Smashing on these bitches, nigga. One of them joints right here, man, that you play when you feeling down on your ism, right? Play this shit right here and resuscitate your pimpin' and get you right back on your mission, right? For you hoes, this that shit you play when you ain't feeling like super hoe today. Play this shit right here and spark up your hoeing and get you right back going, you dig? Dig this. Pimps for real, don't mistake it for fashion. The turf that birthed my reputation for mashing was the track with active, attractive hoes. Professional goers that attract the dough. Like magnets to metal, never settle. We scorching them fag bitches pedal for them portions. My whores win it all. Not the ones on the sideline wishing but didn't ball in the guidelines. My bitches did it all. Down 7 below. All right. What's up with it, man? Y'all already know who it is and what it is, man. And y'all already know the first order of business. Wipe your feet off at the door when you step into a pimp's domain. Hit that like button. And y'all already know, just like y'all know y'all's first order of business, y'all know my first order of business, man. Y'all should be able to hear me cool. Y'all should be able to see a pimp cool. Yeah, I think the audio is cool. Man, I got a damn, must be like a cologne. I think that's from the cologne. You know how sometimes when you spray your cologne a little bit too close, it make a stain on your shirt. I think that's what that is. But fuck it. Put some love in my body, man. This big ass, I don't even know if you could call this a champagne glass. I don't know if you'll call it a goblet or what. I'm not sure. Cheers to the game. Right, like Sir Charles said, it might be a spot on the shirt, but it ain't a blemish on this game. Nah, ain't no blemish on this game. Yeah, we gonna chop some game on this Good Friday the 13th, man. You know, it's a trip. It just tripped me out, right? You know how like you when you getting ready to do laundry or something and you going through your pants pockets to make sure ain't nothing in there and you find some money and you be like, damn. I just did that a little earlier, man. I was going through my pockets. I was getting ready to do some laundry and I was just going through my pockets to make sure I ain't have nothing in my pockets, and I found some money. I felt it first before I seen it. And when I felt it, I reached in the pocket and I'm like, I don't know, subconsciously I was thinking I was going to pull out some American money. But it was Colombian money. It was a trip. It was just funny to pull out some Colombian money instead of American money. That's my first time losing, or not losing because I found it, but misplaced some Colombian money and forgot that I left it in that pocket and then pulled it out. It was kind of funny to me. Pull some money out because, you know, I'm so used to that being American money. When that happens, I reached in the pocket and I was like, oh shit, there's some money in here. Found some little Colombian cash, you know what I mean? Probably about $100 worth of Colombian cash, which is like, how much cash was it? I think it was like it's probably a little less than 100. It was like 300,000 Colombian cash. 300,000 pesos is like somewhere between $75 and $80 American money. So nice little pleasant surprise, you dig? And speaking of money, man, we're going to talk about why in the world would any female in her right mind break herself to a pimp? Why do chicks do that? You know, it's chicks in the game that's actively, you know, doing their thing, and they got a man that they down with, messing with, or whatever they want to call it. And even they find it crazy for a woman to break herself to a pimp. When I say break herself, I mean hand everything over. Give all the money, all of it to a pimp. You got chicks in the game that find that crazy. Let me see if I can find that. Speaking of the topic, right? Just to give you an idea of how these young chicks in the game think about this type of shit nowadays. See if I can find that video. Because you would think it's like normal shit for a chick in the game to understand that when you messing with some pimping, you're supposed to break yourself as a 304. What? Come on, man. How do you escape this? Okay, here we go. See if I can find it real quick. But if I can't find it, I'll just explain what the young lady said in this video. Let's see if I can find it real quick though. I can't remember that chick's name. I know she got like 304 in her name or something. She got 304 in her name, but she talking about how stupid it is for 304 to give all her money, like for a pimp to break on the 304. That's how she was saying it. Boy, some of these chicks is crazy. The game is so different nowadays, man. But like I say all the time, when there's less pimping going on, it's gonna be less heat knowing going on. Less beget less. Man, where is that chick at? Maybe. Hold on. Less beget less. I go to the 304 hashtag. It's a bunch of guys in there. I see myself in there a couple of times. I be trying not to wear out the 304 hashtag though. I like to see 304s when I go to the 304 hashtag, which it still mostly is though. You dig? Once again, man, if you have not wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a Pimps domain, please do so now. Hit that like button. It don't cost you a thing, man. Just like the video is free, the like is free. But it helps the channel and it helps get the notifications and recommendations, all of the right Asians out there. You dig? I can't find the damn video, but I should have saved it. I just remember the chick had 304 something in her name. Something 304. But anyway, I'll just explain to y'all what happened. What the girl was saying in her video. Now, this chick, you know, a self-proclaimed 304, she on TikTok making her little video and she say, y'all keep saying up the volume, man. Y'all probably saying up the volume when my head is turned away from the microphone. It's obviously gonna sound a little lower, but now that I'm facing towards the microphone, y'all should be able to hear me just cool. I don't want to turn it up too loud because, like I said before, y'all be complaining about the volume sometimes, and I turned it up last time and it's still at the same level that I had it at last time. Yeah. But y'all be complaining about the audio, but then I play it back and it be too damn loud, you know, and it be sounding distorted and shit like that. And I don't want to, you know, do that. But anyway, back to this game that we never left, in the words of my brother Simple the P. But little chick like, yeah, how you a pimp and you breaking on your 304s? You not supposed to break on a 304. But she went on to say, like, she worded it in a way as though to say that if you breaking on a 304 that you're not taking care of her. Like you leaving her stuck or you leaving her starving because you breaking on her. And that's not how the game go. See, first of all, 304 break herself to the pimping because It's just customary in the game. Why is it customary in the game? Because it shows a level of sacrifice that most people ain't willing to make. And if you study successful people, one thing all successful people have in common, like I've said many a times before, is a willingness to do what failures will not do. Failures do not want to sacrifice. Successful people are more than willing to sacrifice because they're looking at the bigger picture. See, they don't want to sacrifice because they only seeing a small portion of the picture. They're not looking at the grand scheme of things. So when you're not looking at the grand scheme of things and you think it's small, naturally you're gonna do small shit. Your small thoughts are gonna manifest small behaviors. So the fact that a 304 is willing to sacrifice in that type of way speaks volumes about her potential or potential to be successful in the game, right? So it's a level of sacrifice that's displayed in that gesture when a 304 break herself. And if you just pay attention to so many different things about these chicks in the game, you can see that there's no sacrifice nowhere in the equation. It's no sacrifice taking place anywhere, right? And it shows. It shows in their results. It shows in the outcome of what they got going on. You know, and a lot of people probably don't identify it like that. They probably don't identify it like, damn, she looking dusty. Even when she do touch some money, it runs right through her hands. She can't hold on to nothing. She ain't building nothing. Damn, I wonder why that is. A big part of it is sacrifice. And again, like I said, you got chicks that's messing with a dude that's getting his Bob Barker on. The Price is Right. It's Monty Hall. He making a deal with her. And as a deal maker, he's compromising. He letting her get away with things. He letting her halfway run the show. They both got their hands on the steering wheel, you know. And when the chick got her hands on the steering wheel at the same time as the supposed to be pimping steering wheel, you already know they ain't going nowhere fast. Nowhere fast, pimp. You shout these peoples out real quick, my loved ones, man. Sir Charge, as always, good looking with the $5 holler. Damn. This motherfucking. Okay. Just seen they're pushing legislation in Colorado to legalize 304 work. Any thoughts on that? We're going to get to that in just a minute, Sir Charles, but I appreciate you as always. Ray Gunn, once again, as always, good looking with the $5 holler. Glory to the game. RIP Sin, let's get bro to 100K subs before the year is out. 100. Appreciate you, Ray Gunn. As always. Now, let me see. You see what you're talking about, Sir Charles. Let's see if we can pull it up. You about to see what you're talking about, Sir Charge. Come on, man. Goodness. Okay, now new bill would legalize or decriminalize prostitution in Colorado. Colorado Democrats seek to legalize prostitution by July. Okay, let's see. Which one should we click on? This is the most recent one. So let's Colorado Springs Gazette is talking about. If this shit will hurry up. God damn. Y'all know me. Technical difficulties to P. Oh, they won't even let me open that article. Okay, let's try the other one. Let's try this one. Okay. Fuck you, pay me. That's funny. New bill would decriminalize prostitution in Colorado. Sponsors of the measure argue that sex work reform is a statewide concern and hope that escort bureaus and massage parlors will offer more protection. Let's see what they talking about. Colorado could become the second state in the country to allow prostitution if a new bill just introduced at the state legislature is successful. Exchanging physical sexual favors for money isn't explicitly outlawed by the federal government, which largely leaves such laws to the states. Nevada is the only state in the country with laws that allow for prostitution. However, with 10 of the state's 17 counties sanctioned regulated legal sex work. Colorado Senate Bill 26-097 will require local government to opt into sex work reform. Introduced on February 11th, SB 097 would decriminalize commercial sex work activity among consenting adults and repeat offenses for prostitution, soliciting prostitution, keeping a place for prostitution, patronizing prostitutes, and prostitute making display. A bill summary. Boy, this is what I hate about the damn internet, all these stupid ass pop-ups. Yeah, damn. Okay, so where was I? The measure would also call on local governments to lightly regulate escort bureaus and massage parlors that charge for sexual activities, with each client-patron contract treated as a matter of public record. Damn, so you'll have to go into a contract every time you bust a date? That's kind of crazy, but hey, it's better than going to jail, shit. Conducting such activities will be illegal for anyone under 18, with language in the bill protecting any victims of human trafficking from criminal or juvenile charges. Illegal pandering or trying to intimidate or menacingly induce a person into buying sex would be a Class 5 felony, which carries a $5,000 to $10,000 fine. Pimping, defined as living on or being supported by money earned by another person through sexual activity, would remain a Class 3 felony. No duh. We already know that ain't gonna never be legalized in America, man. So, I don't know what's gonna happen, man, because we've been having people push for this shit for a long time, and I've been saying it for years now. You probably can go back through the archives and recall me saying this, what I'm about to say again right now, which is by the year 2030, in some capacity, sex work or whatever you want to call it will be legalized or decriminalized, in the United States. and we in 2026 right now. It's only a few years until 2030. But I've been saying that shit, man. I've been saying that for a long time. Probably the past 7, 8 years, if not longer. I've been saying that because, like I said before, we never thought gay marriage would be legal. That became legal. We never thought that recreational use of marijuana would be legal. That became legal. The next big thing that we never expected to become legal, that's going to become legal, is prostitution. You best believe. Because just like with the marijuana, big part of the reason why it was illegal is because they couldn't figure out how to, regulate it and tax it and capitalize on it. And once they figured that out, the government legalized it. It's going to be the same thing with prostitution. Once they figure out how to regulate it and tax it and capitalize on it and all that type of shit, they going to do it. It's only a matter of time. You got to understand, see, people be thinking that bases their laws on being morally correct and all that type of shit. That shit do not matter. Maybe to a slight extent in some cases, but they don't give a damn about being morally correct. They give a damn about being financially correct, economically correct. And, it's America. It's a capitalist society. So if they can figure out how to capitalize on some shit, they're going to legalize that shit. Just like cocaine was once legal, just like they made alcohol illegal before, then legalized it again, and they're going to do the same thing with prostitution. Prostitution used to be legal in a whole bunch of states, and it's going to be legal again. So it's just a matter of time, man. So this whole Colorado situation, I don't know what it's going to do. And see, that's the thing too, man. People be thinking that, prostitution being legalized is going to be good for the game. It will be in some aspects, but the game as we know it, it could potentially put a lot of black eyes in the game, man. Because one thing about this game now, as it is, we have a lot of, people have to be smart, who don't have to have any game. You don't have to have no game to be in the game. You don't have to be smart to be in the game. All you gotta be is ready and willing. And, you can just jump in the game. And what a lot of people in the game don't think about or don't care about is the fact that what you do in the game affects everybody in the game. What your individual self does in the game, it affects everybody in the game or another, especially now with the internet being the way that it is, social media being the way that it is. If what you do affects everybody in the game. So if it becomes legal, see, with legality comes social acceptance in a lot of cases with a lot of people. Marijuana, when it was illegal, it wasn't really socially, because it's so common for people to smoke weed. A lot of people, was cool with it, but it was still like a taboo type of thing until it became recreational in a lot of places, and is legal in most parts of America now. Now it's not such a taboo thing. Now it's not such a, socially unaccepted thing. Smoking weed is cool. Legal or illegal. I don't fuck with it. Just like alcohol, legal or illegal, I don't fuck with it. But alcohol kills people. Alcohol makes people do a lot of dumbass shit. And, there's still a high level of social acceptance with that. Why? Because it's legal. Not because it's right or wrong. Not because it's not so harmful or very harmful or any of that shit. It's legal. You could go into a store and buy that shit whenever you feel like it. And it's like that in most parts of the world. Down here in Colombia, you only got the legal drinking age is 18. So if you 18 down here, you can go in a bar and buy alcohol, or you can go into a liquor store and buy alcohol, and it's not such a taboo type of thing. So on that same token, man, once prostitution become legal, Watch how many people is cool with it all of a sudden. The same type of people that have been talking shit about it. Watch how cool they become with it when it becomes legal. But like I said, uh, it's gonna be a lot of people in the game that don't belong in the game. It already is, but once it becomes legal, it's gonna be even worse. You know, you're gonna have a lot of idiots in the game. You know, and the government is gonna love it because, see, this is another thing that's gonna help prostitution become legal. OnlyFans. You know, they page was making millions of dollars, um, and them shutting down Backpage wasn't so much about, you know, protecting minors or protecting victims or anything like that. No, them people was just making too much money and they didn't like that shit. But you know, OnlyFans is the new Backpage, and they see how OnlyFans is producing so much money. You know, Kiznorn Hub. You know, I know that's producing a lot of money for people too. Probably not as much as what's it called, OnlyFans, but Kiznorn Hub is producing a lot of money too. Kiznorn Hub is kind of the YouTube of adult entertainment, if you really think about it. You know, that's pretty much all it is. It's pretty much like a YouTube for adult entertainment. You know, so I mean, I don't know how the monetary aspect of Kiznorn Hub works, but I would imagine it's kind of similar to YouTube. I'm pretty sure just like any other social media platform, any other website, I'm pretty sure they have ad revenue on there. I'm pretty sure they got ads just like YouTube. So they probably have some kind of partnership program, just like YouTube got the YouTube partner program where, you know, you become a partner and you get paid revenue. Kiznorn Hub probably works. They probably got like a similar type of program, I would imagine. I'm not 100% sure. But I say all of that to say the way Kiznorn Hub is thriving, and especially the way OnlyFans is thriving, you know, it got a lot of people thinking like, damn, maybe this ain't such a bad thing. You know, you got people making millions of dollars on OnlyFans. They're paying taxes. They stimulating the economy. What if we allow prostitution to do the same thing? That's how they thinking. So, but just like with OnlyFans, if you think about it, OnlyFans got a lot of dumbass bitches on there, and just dumbass people, period. A lot of dumbass guys too. Stupid people on there, period. And, you know, on the same token, as many people who don't belong in the game are in the game right now, once prostitution becomes legal or decriminalized at least, oh man, you know, it's gonna open the floodgates. You know, all them bitches, them square ass bitches that be getting on these platforms, speaking down on 304's and all that type of shit, they gonna be setting that thing out there too. You know, so where does the pimping fall into all of that? Pimping gonna get in where he fit in. You know, the beautiful thing is you always gonna have somebody with a brain. You always gonna have somebody with some sense. And you know, I kind of like the idea in some ways of, you know, not everybody having enough sense to get with a pimp. Because everybody don't deserve no pimping. Everybody don't need to be with no pimping. HH Global says disagree. I know P's getting to a bag off OnlyFans. Now I'm not saying everybody on OnlyFans is dumb. I'm saying there are a lot of dumb people on OnlyFans. You don't have to be smart to uh to be on OnlyFans. You know, uh, to be successful on there, it does take a little bit of game, but you have people on there that ain't that smart, just successful. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that everybody on that platform is stupid. That would be a ridiculous statement. But there are a lot of dumb people on OnlyFans. Can't argue with that. Save the drama for your mama. But yeah, man, in the words of my beloved brother Sinful to P,
But getting back to this game that I never left.
that we never left, man. Yeah, man, why do 304's break themselves to the pimping? Like I said, sacrifice. It's a big display of sacrifice shown in that willingness for a 304 to break herself to the pimping. And it's just a part of the structure of a household within the game. You know, anything that has success to it, even OnlyFans, like we talking about, YouTube, anything that has any type of success to it has some type of structure. You know, things can't just be completely without rules, completely without guidelines. If you moving like that, then you might have little spurts, little glimpses of success, but you won't have sustained success if you don't have any structure. You got to have some type of structure. And the game is no different. So, and if you study the game, if you study people who have been successful in the game, you know, they, all the successful people in the game, they have, certain things in common. And one of them things is that, 304s fully surrender themselves to the pimping. And within that surrender, they break themselves. Right? And again, like I was saying earlier, a lot of chicks have a problem with breaking themselves because they think so small. They magnify that little bit of money in their mind, and that little bit of money in their mind is magnified to a point where it becomes the biggest thing in their little bitty mind. And yeah, man, you got to think bigger than that. And when you think bigger than that, you open yourself up to do bigger things and be a part of bigger things. And reading these comments, excuse me. Boy, people be where my mods at, man? Is my mods on their job? Let me see something, man. Hold on. Mods, man, y'all be kicking your feet up when you in here, man. You got a rifle for a reason, man. You gotta snipe shit down when you see inappropriate shit. Hold on a second, man. My mods, man, you gotta get on your job, man. You gotta have your eyes peeled. This shit. Let's get on here. Give me just a second, man. Okay, I see some over the prints on it. But damn, Sir Charge, I don't know why you ain't been had a wrench, but I'm giving you one now. Okay, Sir Charge, you in the game now. You should have been had a wrench. But yeah, man, you know, suckers come in here saying sucker shit. Gotta snipe they ass down, man. But yeah, you know, see, when you thinking of the bigger picture in the game as a 304, right? When you have the big picture in mind, you're thinking about being the absolute best that you can be at what you do, right? And when you're thinking about being the absolute best at what you can, being the absolute best that you can be at what you do, you're focused. You're focused on your ability and, you know, maximizing that ability, right? And, you know, when you think like that, you know, you thinking about, okay, what can I make happen? What am I capable of? Okay, I know that I'm capable of this, that, and the third. Okay, what can I make happen with what I'm capable of? Right? And what is it gonna take in order for me to be my best? Right? So you become a student of the game. And when you become a student of the game and you start studying the history of the game, see, that's the beautiful thing about the internet. It's a lot of history of the game that you can study on here. It's a lot of veteran people in the game that you can listen to and get history from, excuse me, on here. So, you know, when you think about all of that, you got to, right? But within the studying, you know, you growing, you becoming bigger and better at what you do as a 304, right? And you understand that education is necessary, knowledge and wisdom is necessary in order for you to be successful in the game. As a student in the game, you come to learn this type of stuff, right? You come to learn, okay, I need education, I need guidance in this game. Okay, where do I get that from? The pimping. Okay, bam. You know, and then too, like I said, when you're focused on your ability and you focused on being the best that you could be, another thing about that is it makes you inclined to make better decisions, right? See, when you just moving willy nilly in the game and you don't really have intentions in the game, you just want to touch some money and you don't know why. You just like, yeah, I just want to get some money. I don't, you know, I just want to have money to be able to, you know, buy the little shit that I like to buy and spend money on what I want to spend on. But, you know, you don't really have a real purpose. You know, you make a lot of unwise decisions. But when you're intentional, right? When you know what you're capable of and you want to increase your value and you want to add value wherever you go, you more intentional about your decisions. You're not going to just put yourself around any and everybody, right? When you making these sacrifices, you're not just going to make those sacrifices with any and everybody. You want to make them sacrifices with the right individual or individuals, right? The right household. So you're going to be intentional. You're going to be paying attention. You're going to be like, okay, I know this individual ain't for me. I know that individual ain't for me. This person ain't for me because of this. That person ain't for me because of that. Okay, this is what I need in a man and in the ism. Within the ism, this is what I need because I know what I need for myself and I know what I want to bring to the table. So if I'm going to sacrifice this, if I'm going to bring this to the table, then this is what I need out of the pimping, right? And you start paying attention, and you know your antennas go up when you see certain individuals, right? And just like it would be foolish to buy a vehicle just based on the way that it looks, it would be foolish to choose some pimping just simply based on the way that he looked. And that's where a lot of chicks go wrong. They they go wrong choosing the individual just based on how he looks. He's physically their type, so that's what they're going for. But and that's just one of several unwise reasons why chicks choose the guys that they choose. Some chicks like choosing guys because of what gang they from, because of what they represent as far as their neighborhood and all that type of stuff. Some make their choices based on that, but those things are unwise things to base your decisions on, right? And you make unwise decisions like that again when you're not intentional about what you're doing, when you're not intentional about how you spend your time and efforts, and where the fruits of your time and efforts go, what you're investing in, or you don't even care about investing, period. You just, like I said, moving willy-nilly in the game. When you're moving like that, it's real easy to make a lot of bad decisions and get with the bad, wrong people and all that type of stuff, right? But when you intentional, that's just like me. I'm not gonna just accept any and everybody. And sometimes when you're young in the game, like as a 304, you might be young in the game and you might mistakenly choose the wrong individual. It happens. That's life, but you're supposed to learn from it and become better. You know, uh, just like I say all the time, the pimping get greater with every 304 they blow. A 304 is supposed to get with each experience that she goes through in the game with different guys. So if you experience a bad situation with a P, it could be an instance, like I say all the time, where you might be the wrong 304 for the right P, or you might be the right 304 for the wrong P. I've said it before and I'll say it again. There have been times throughout my life where I was the wrong P for the right 304. This 304 had all the potential in the world to be great in the game. I was just the wrong P at that time. I didn't have my pimping up to par in order to make her be the best 304 that she could be. I've been that before, right? And so if I've been that before, then you best believe as a 304, it's a high likelihood that you were the wrong 304 for the right P, right? And that happens. You're supposed to learn from it. You're supposed to get better. You're supposed to tighten up. You're supposed to make better decisions moving forward, right? Excuse my pimping. And then, see, it's a lot of like girlfriend, boyfriend shit going on in the game, man. So it's certain experiences that a young 304 is supposed to have and appreciate and enjoy that a lot of these young chicks have yet to experience and enjoy because they think so small. See, a lot of chicks don't know what it's like to be a part of a household where you got some cool wifeys, no jealousy in the mix, no girlfriend, treatment in the mix. Everybody is just straight mashing going on. Everything is straight laced. And it's like not competition, but like worthy rivalry, right? See, competition is different from worthy rivalry. When you have competition, it's like you trying to outdo each other. And, as wifeys, you shouldn't want to, try to outdo each other in a sense where, there's a winner and a loser. Like, tonight, because I got the biggest trap, I'm the winner and my wifeys are losers. Nah, you don't want to look at it like that. A lot of people use the terminology friendly competition. When you're within the same household, you don't want to look at it that way. But worthy rivalry is a good way to look at it because, everybody can be victorious in that type of situation, but yet and still at the same time, you're motivating each other to step each other's game up. you know, uh, when this worthy rivalry going on, right? So, but yeah, man, a lot of chicks, like I said, they don't know what it's like to be in a household with some cool wifeys. Everybody got love for each other. Everybody look out for each other. Everybody got each other's best interests at heart. You know, these chicks be doing weird shit like they'll be on the track with they wifeys, but they hanging out with renegades and loser ass bitches that got boyfriends and being cooler with them than they are with their wifeys. They ain't trying to lock in with their wifeys. They ain't trying to engage with their wifeys and get cool with their wifeys and build with their wifeys. No, they want to come over here and smoke and drink with these loser ass bitches. You know, that ain't even playing the game accordingly. Ain't, you know, giving the game a black eye. Ain't representing this shit the right way. Total misrepresentation. You know, you got chicks in the game doing weird shit like that. But again, a lot of chicks don't know what it's like to have some cool ass wifeys and y'all building with each other, y'all accomplishing shit together. You remember when you and your folks was in that motel room. You remember when you and your folks, you know, was riding in that bucket or didn't even have a vehicle. You remember when y'all started out, you didn't even have a vehicle, and then, you know, y'all hold up and reached it to him, and then he went and got a rental, and then he went from a rental to something luxurious, you know, and then next thing you know, everybody got their own luxury vehicles, and then next thing you know, it just keep going from there. You know, a lot of chicks don't know what that's like because, you know, everybody just they want to start at the finish line. Everybody want to start at the finish line. You know, don't nobody want to build, and they don't understand the joy of building. They don't understand the joy of, you know, starting from nothing and then building up and then being able to look back and say, damn, you know what? We did that. We did that. We built this together. We stayed solid. We stayed down. Even when we was mad, we stayed down. Even when we was sad, we stayed down. Even when we was tired and hungry, we stayed down. A lot of these chicks don't understand that. You know, and the unfortunate thing is, you know, you have social media that allows for anybody and everybody to have a voice and be heard when they shouldn't be. They could just get on here and say some bullshit, and as long as that bullshit sound good and taste good, it's the right flavor of ear candy, you know, people spread the shit and, you know, gravitate to it and latch on to it, and, you know, this is how you get, you know, messed up ideologies in the game. But that's the way the game is supposed to go. You know, ain't nothing wrong with building. You know, we in a time now, I know how it is, you know, when you see people in the game doing bad, you know, everybody want to ostracize them and point their fingers and laugh at them, but they don't understand that's part of the game. You know, we supposed to lift each other up. We supposed to build each other up. As long as ain't no sucker shit in the mix, if you see somebody down bad, you supposed to encourage them. You supposed to lift them up, right? But what do people do in the game now? If they see somebody leaking or they see somebody doing bad, they want to laugh at them. You know, they want to give them the cold shoulder. You know, everybody your friend when you up. But especially in today's times, when you fall off or if you're doing bad for a moment, man, everybody want to laugh at you and point their finger and ostracize you and all that type of shit, man. But see, a lot of chicks, like I said, they don't understand and appreciate that building process. So because you don't understand and appreciate building with people, you know, this is why you gonna stay ending up in a bad household, choosing the wrong type of guy. You know, and if you do have wifeys in the mix, they're gonna be the wrong type of wifeys because you don't appreciate building. You just want a ready-made situation. You want to get into something that's, you know, where the vehicle is already in motion. You just want to jump and dive in while it's already in motion. You know, you don't want to build nothing. And because you don't want to build nothing, you know, you choose circumstances instead of, you choose the circumstance that the pimp is in instead of the pimp that's in that circumstance. See, I remember when, you know, man, see, Man, it's just a beautiful thing. See, I know what it's like to be chose with nothing and then just pimp up for everything, right? And you know, real 304's know what that's like. They know what it's like to choose a pimp who physically, materially might not have anything, but she see the game in him. She see his trueness to the game, and she believe in him. And she might know his resume. She might know that he might have been on before, and he just going through a rough patch right now. Or it might be a young pimp who ain't got his turn yet, but he's serious about the game, and he got game, and he know what he doing. Because don't nobody come in the game with the game, and don't nobody come in the game on unless they had some other shit going on before they got in the game. But for the most part, though, you know, when young pimpin' come into the game, he's starting from ground zero, and he working to build himself up. And I just love seeing a young 304 choose a young pimp, and neither one of them might not have a whole lot going on, but they believe in each other, they down with each other, and they just build something monumental from that. A lot of people don't know what that's like. A lot of people ain't gonna never experience that shit because, like I said, they want to start at the finish line. Everybody want to start at the finish line, man. Don't nobody want to build. Don't nobody want to do the heavy lifting, man. Scotty the PM, good looking with the $5 holler. Blessings to you, P. We out that Denver, Colorado, and yeah, the game good in the homeland right now. I'm just grateful to be a black man with this game. Dig that, Scotty the Pimp. Yeah, man, I love that Colorado, man. That Colfax and treated me good, man. Yeah, I like that. I like that Colfax, man. I was messing with Colorado in the Craigslist days, man. I done got some Craigslist dollars out of Colorado. I done got some Backpage dollars out of Colorado, and I think I done got some Arrows money out of Colorado, and I for sure done got some Colfax money out that Colorado. You dig? Yeah, man. Shout out to Denver. Shout out to Colorado as a whole. Brother Bill, as always, good looking with the $2 holler. Glory to God for this game. Long live Philip Brandon Gilmore. Bless us, bro. Bill, man. 10 for 10. Good looking with the $10 holler. Tens all the way around. Tell them freeze. Yeah, man, we going to chop and pop this game, man. If it's one thing that we going to do for sure, is chop and pop this game. Keep this shit 1,000 wow, man. Look, we got Botswana in the building, man. Shout out from Botswana. Peace. Ill Dog Abel, man. Appreciate you, man. Yeah, man. We global with this shit. You got an American pimp in Colombia with people in the audience from Botswana, man. You dig? Matter of fact, if you're in a different country, man, shout out where you at, man. If you in a different country aside from the United States, much love to my people in the States, man. But I just want to see what international audience we got up in this joint, man. And I appreciate everybody in attendance. Some of the most solid gentlemen I've known, I met when they were leaking. And see, chicks miss out on their blessings, like I've said before, man. A chick miss out on their blessings by letting the appearance be the interference, man. When you done been around in this game long enough and you done been down and dirty, I'm talking about like when you really rubbing elbows in the flesh with people in the game, and your experience in the game extends past the virtual world of social media. When you out there, down and dirty, you gonna see all different types of individuals in the game, and you gonna see all different types of things taking place in the game. And one thing that you gonna see if you stick around in the game long enough and you down and dirty, you gonna see a pimp go from nothing to everything. It's certain guys in the game I know, man. I remember when they was down bad. I remember when they didn't have a pot to piss in, nor a window to throw it out of, and now they balling out of control. I done seen it. Man, there's certain cats I know, man, like in a matter of days. It's certain pimps, man. Like it's a legendary cat, man, out there in Memphis, Tennessee, by the name of Dennis Jones, man. Shout out to Dennis Jones wherever he at. And I've mentioned Dennis Jones before. But man, I done seen Dennis Jones, man. I done seen him go up and down several times, right? Now, Dennis Jones, like I said, Memphis representation, but you know, he was tearing New York a new asshole in the 80s, man, in the game, man. He was knocking the patch out their ass in New York in the 80s, man. Well known, well respected, well hated, and well disliked all at the same time, you know what I mean? Dennis Jones is loved by many, hated by many, right? But man, I done seen Dennis Jones, man, like really down on his ass, man, one day. And then you might see Dennis Jones a few days later. He riding in something big. He got a pocket full of money. He got a few hoes in the car with him, you know what I mean? Like, that's what the game do. See, what I want you to understand is that sometimes people may lose the situation, but as long as they don't lose the game, they can get the situation again. You know, and that's what's missing in the game nowadays. A lot of people respect situations, but they don't care about respecting the people in the situation. You know, if somebody make it look good and they look like they got it going on and they look like they doing something, that's really all it takes to garner certain people's respect. But me, I know better. That's why you done seen me roast certain individuals that everybody be praising and shit like that. Because I know better, you know? But again, like I said, I respect people. I respect character, you know? So I don't allow the appearance to be the interference. You know, that's just like how ridiculous it is for a chick to choose a situation that the pimp is in as opposed to the pimping in the situation. It's like a pimp just, you know, accepting bitches just because of how they look. Could you imagine how chaotic your household would be as a pimp if the only criteria it takes to get in your household and get next to you is for a woman to be physically attractive? If that's all it takes, man, you're gonna have chaos in the household. Constant chaos. It's gonna be in shambles in a heartbeat. So, you know, yeah, man. To build is a beautiful thing in the game, man. You know, I love building. And I love building with 304's, man. For real. It's been so many times where, you know, a chick done chose with me and we starting from nothing and we building everything. So again, man, you know, why does a 304 break herself to a pimp? Why should a 304 break herself to a pimp? The sacrifice. It shows a level of sacrifice, you know. And you know, like that's really a good way to gauge somebody's character is their willingness to sacrifice. If you pay attention and you see people who are unwilling to sacrifice, they really usually have like some nasty characteristics about themselves, some unpleasantries within their character that, you know, if you're the opposite of that, you really ain't gonna dig. For real. Like, you know, that's one thing that I pay attention to and I notice off the bat is, you know, a chick's willingness to sacrifice or if a chick is selfish and things like that. You know, and some chicks is just, you know, they just like that. Some chicks are just selfish, and you might see all the potential in the world in them as the pimping, but if they can't see past themselves, that's a lot of chicks' biggest dilemma in the game right now is being able to see past themselves and see something bigger than themselves and be a part of something bigger than themselves and to appreciate and respect that thing that's bigger than themselves. The game being the ultimate thing. A lot of chicks in the game think they bigger than the game. They think they bigger than the pimping. They think they bigger than the game. They think they the biggest thing in the game. And social media doesn't make it no better because, like I said, people just like with supposed to be pimping in the game, people respect situations as opposed to people. When it comes to the supposed to be 304's in the game, all it takes for them to get respect and appreciation and things like that is to look good. You got some chicks that's the dumbest in the world, but because they look good, they got they DMs flooded. They got everybody, as Sinful to People say, is having praise and worship service for them, just based on the fact that they look good. That's it. That's all it takes. Reading these comments. Okay, we got the Philippines in the building too. Dig that. Carl from Detroit. Reporting live from the Philippines. Okay. You dig? Man, this dude is a weirdo. Skyber Team Dolomite says narcissism. Isn't that a result of the internet? Internet made 304's crazy. I know what you mean by narcissism, but because that word has been taken out of context and ran through the mud so much, I don't even like using. It's just certain terms that I don't even like using no more. Narcissism is one of them. But, we'll say self-absorbed. A lot of these chicks are self-absorbed, but they a lot of them who are that way don't really know any other way to be. They really don't know any other way to be because that's all they know. And see, loving yourself has a lot to do with, the type of sacrifices that you make and the type of decisions that you make and, how you regard yourself and how you regard others and how you're able to be a part of something bigger than yourself. A lot of that has to do with, loving yourself and knowing what love is. See, you got a lot of people, man, they don't really know what love is, to receive love from other people or to love themselves. So that got a lot to do with it too. Anthony Jackson says, why does a stripper give all her money to her man, aka boyfriend, because of his vernacular? Sometimes it can be about the vernacular, man, but a lot of these people got good pipe vernacular. You know what I mean? They pipe game is cool. It ain't so much about what's coming out of their mouth. It's a lot about what they pulling out of their pants, man. You know, a lot of these dudes' body language is better than their verbal language, man. For real, man. That's man. That's it's a lot of that going on right now. It's a whole lot of people body language is better than their verbal language, man. For real. And this is why these chicks is crazy, man. See, like when you see certain things taking place, and my P don't stand for perfect, right? My P is far from perfect. But when certain things happen to certain individuals, or when people get blasted doing certain things, man, it just don't be no surprise. And when you have a certain way about yourself as a man and as the pimping, it's just certain things that just ain't gonna happen. Like I don't know what it's like to just sit back and let a chick talk to me crazy and embarrass me, and you know, I'm just cool with it. I'm just letting it slide, like, and it's not because, I'm just putting so much fear in a chick, but it's a fearful respect. See, when you pimping accordingly, man, a chick's biggest fear shouldn't be like a physical threat. It should be the threat of not having you in her life no more. That should be her biggest fear. When you are banked up on integrity, when you've been investing in yourself as a man and as a pimp, your manhood is in order. Your moral compass is on point, right? When you just got your shit in order as a man and as a pimp, a chick's biggest fear should be not having you in her life anymore, right? So, but when you have it like that, it's just certain things that you ain't gonna experience, man. Like I said, I don't know what that shit feel like to just, let a chick disrespect me to my face, and it's like, it's no consequence, it's no repercussion. I don't know what it's like for a chick to tell on me and, jeopardize my freedom, and then she's able to continue with me. She's able to move forward with me. I don't know what that shit feel like. You know? I don't know what it's like for chicks to just play with me, and I'm just accepting it. I don't know what that shit feel like. But, them dudes, I guess they don't love themselves neither. you know? So you have a situation where you got these chicks that's involved with these dudes that don't, and they all got the same thing in common. Don't nobody love themselves. Don't nobody value themselves or appreciate themselves or nothing like that. You know? See, it's just certain things, especially now, man, where I'm at with myself as a man and as the pimping, man. It's just certain things that you know, I don't like lazy chicks. I've never liked lazy chicks, but you know, I wasn't always a pimp that liked going to the gym. But now because I love going to the gym, I like chicks that like going to the gym. Now some chicks, have come to me and, they'll go to the gym just to like, it's not even so much for themselves. They'll do it because they think that's what I want them to do. Right? But then you have chicks that just like going to the gym. And the fact that I like going to the gym is an added plus. But I just really like chicks that like going to the gym. I like chicks that like going to Whole Foods and eating healthy. I like chicks that like eating fruit and vegetables and don't like going through drive-thrus all the damn time. You know, I I I like chicks that don't lose their mind if they don't have a vape in their hand. I like chicks that don't have to go to the dispensary every other day. You know what I mean? Like, I used to be tolerant of the weed smoke, but nowadays I don't even like chicks that smoke weed, man. Cause maybe it's because the weed is different or something like that, man. And then Uh, when I was dealing with chicks that smoke weed, this is what I would always have to do. And you know, a lot of y'all gonna laugh because this is some real ass shit when it comes to a lot of chicks. And this ain't just for 304's. This is just young ladies, period, that smoke weed. Why do y'all always want to buy only an eighth of weed? And you gonna run through that eighth of weed in like a day, 2 days tops, and then you right back buying another eighth of weed and you just eighthing yourself to death. Why do you keep buying eighths of weed when you know you're gonna run through it like that? Like, what's wrong with you? Why are you buying only eighths of weed? See, you don't know how many times I done blew a chick's mind. And this goes back to what I'm talking about as far as, chicks not willing to sacrifice and, chicks thinking small. This is what a small mind prompts you to do. And this manifests in so many other areas of life, but this is just one example of a small-minded chick who has no concept of sacrifice, not even for herself. And, the things that she likes to do. Treating herself, because that's what weed is. It's really a treat. It's a luxury that you're treating yourself to, right? But chicks, they just love buying eighths of weed. And you don't know how many times I done blew a chick's mind. You don't know how many times I've been the first popping this kind of cherry on the chick of buying her an ounce of weed. You don't know how many chicks been smoking weed for years and ain't never bought an ounce of weed. You know how many chicks that smoke weed and they've been smoking weed for years and they have never in their lives had an ounce of weed at one time? But they smoke every day for years. How you smoke every day for years and you ain't never had an ounce of weed? Never. You know how many times I done bought a chick her first ounce of weed and she been smoking for years? Shit crazy. Man. In an eighth, you know what I mean? So as the term implies, an eighth is an eighth of an ounce. So in order to get a full ounce of weed, you have to go through 8/8. Once you get that amount 8 times, you're going to have an ounce of weed. And a chick might go through an ounce of weed within a week, sometimes less than a week, but they'll eighth it to death. And me, so like I said, I don't really deal with chicks that smoke weed no more, but when I was dealing with that shit, what I would have a chick do, here, go up in there, get you an ounce. Get an ounce. Okay, after she get her ounce, we pulling up to 7, whatever type of wraps she like. Get 20 of them. Get 20 wraps. You know what I mean? Get a whole bunch of them so you don't have to keep coming back. And they be looking like, it'd be blowing their mind. It's crazy. T Stacks. Some of these chicks do be doing that, right? And then this is what I don't like about having multiple chicks that smoke weed, right? Because when I used to do that, when I used to have chicks that had, when I had multiple chicks that smoke weed, I get this one an ounce, get this one an ounce, get this one an ounce. Everybody had their own ounce. Like, for instance, I'll never forget. I remember I had these 2 chicks that both smoked weed, right? And when I would have them away from each other, this one over here, an ounce will probably last her like 3 weeks. And she would smoke every day, but she wasn't just like a choo-choo train. She wasn't just like just she'll hit it a few times and be cool and she'll be straight. But this one over here, she'll take like 3 weeks on her ounce. And this one over here, she'll go through the ounce in like 7 or 8 days. You know what I mean? So so yeah, you got chicks that go through that type of amount of weed within a week for sure. But what I wouldn't like is when they would be together and this one will hurry up and blow through her ounce, and then now she trying to nibble off of this one's ounce. You know, and you don't even like this bitch, but now you want to be her friend because you done blew through all of your weed and she still got a gang of weed left. you know, tell you, man, these chicks be crazy, man. But again, like I say, man, as I evolve and as I grow, I don't like being around people that have certain types of vices. It ain't even just 304's that's within my household. It's just people, period. I don't like being around certain people that got certain vices, man. My vice is the gym. My vice is vegetables. My vice is salads. Those are my vices, man. And of course, pimping. You dig? Those are my vices, man. I don't like being around people that drink too much. I don't like being around people that smoke too much. I just don't like I don't like any of that type of shit. And like I say, as I've grown and I've evolved, that type of stuff in a woman just is just less and less attractive, man. It's just less and less attractive, and it just it's a black eye, man. And it makes me think like, damn, as men, a lot of us have dropped the ball. You know, where a chick think that she could just be a dope fiend or an alcoholic and still have whatever man she want. You're a dope fiend. You're an alcoholic. You you don't have no real income. You don't bring anything to the table other than what you look like. And you think that just because you look a certain type of way, because your booty got its own zip code, and you got a pretty face and all that type of shit, that you're supposed to just be able to have whatever man you want, and got an arrogance about yourself as well. It's crazy. I'm not fueling nobody like that. I'm not pumping no bullshit into a chick's head like that. Hell no. See, man, it's supposed to be a thing where, in an ideal world, right? In an ideal world, if a woman want to have the ideal man, if a woman want to have a high caliber, top notch man, she should know that she has to know how to cook. She has to be willing to clean, and not just for the man that she's with, like for herself. These are things that you should want to do for yourself. That's why I be looking at chicks crazy when they be, talking shit like they don't want to cook and clean and all this type of shit. But this is shit that you should want to do for yourself, that you should be doing for yourself as a woman. If you're single and you don't have a man in your life, it should just be in your nature. That's just like me as a man. I'm a cook and I'm a clean. Like right now, I'm by myself. I don't, and it's crazy because in Colombia, that type of shit is cheap. I could probably go hire me a maid to come in here and cook and clean and do all that shit. I'm just so used to doing it myself, though. But as I think about it, to save myself some time, I might fuck around and do that. I probably do need to hire me a maid or something. It'll definitely save me some time. Not just a maid, but especially, somebody to come in here and cook for me. If I had somebody to come in here and cook for me, that'd be beautiful. But, my point is, me as a man, when I'm by myself like I am right now, I'm going to cook every day and I'm going to clean every day. Right? And because I'm that way, I can't be with a chick that's not that way with herself. When she's by herself, I can't be with a chick that when she's by herself and she ain't got no man in her life, she's not cooking and she's not clean. She's not it's not just in her nature to clean. And she doing a whole bunch of DoorDash and Uber Eats and drive-throughs and all that type of shit. Ugh. Like a chick that ain't got no man, that ain't had a home cooked meal since she was at her mama's house or her grandmama's house. Ugh. Ugh. Like, I don't even fuck with drive-throughs. I don't do the drive-through. So, that's all I'm on is home cooked meals. So, yeah, man, I just don't like being around them type of people, man. Like I said, people that's lazy, people that got bad vices. I just, and y'all know me, I've been, drug and alcohol free for a very long time. But I used to be the type, I'm still the type of person that can be around people that are doing that and, not be a party pooper and be cool. But, when it comes to women, that shit is just like such a turnoff nowadays, man, to see a bitch getting drunk or getting too high and all that. I just, ugh. Like I said, I like chicks that like to read. I like chicks that like to go to the gym. I like chicks that like to go to Whole Foods. You know what I mean? I like chicks that like to get in the kitchen and cook, do womanly type shit, and I'll get in the kitchen and cook with you. That's the cold part about it. That's what I really like to do, man. I can't even lie. I never really thought about it, but as I reflect back, those have been some of my favorite times with a lot of 304's that I've had, man. Being in the kitchen with them hoes and cooking with them. That's those are just like priceless moments that you can't put a price tag on that. That's not something that you can go to the store and swipe your credit card and it gives you that experience. But that's, yeah, as I reflect back, man, that's been some of my favorite times, man. Being in the kitchen and cooking with them bras, man. For real. You know. Scarber Team Dolomite once again, good looking with the $5 holla. Hold up. Is it possible for a bottom chick to blow up or get knocked? Dave Ski. 2D Tax. I think that's how you say it. 2D Tax Podcast. Yo, Freeze, let's network. Yeah, man. Is it possible for a bottom chick to blow up or get knocked? Of course. They do it all the time. And some cats be taking them for thinking it, because they bottom chick them been around for a long time that they won't get knocked, man. You got chicks that done been with dudes for 8, 9, 10 years or longer and get knocked or blow up. Now sometimes, when a chick done been down with a guy for a long time, she might just be making a mad move, meaning that she might go get with another pimp, or she might blow up and go to her mama's house or just do her own thing for a temporary period of time because she just upset with the pimping right now, but she gonna come back. You have instances like that, but then you have other instances where the chick will go choose up on some pimping and give him a run. She might have been with this guy. She might have been this guy's bottom chick for 7 or 8 years, but then she go get with another pimp and give him another 7 or 8 years. It go like that sometimes, man. One thing we know for sure is that all good things come to an end, and great things begin where good things end. For sure. So yeah, man. Yeah, but man, that type of shit happens all the time. The new under the sun. Right, like Supposed the Prince say, oh man, it's fun to be cooking with baby. Got the music playing, front door open, spot smelling good, neighbors like they own. Hell yeah, for real. You know what I'm talking about, supposed to Prince. You know what I mean? That shit, yeah, ain't nothing like it. Don Supreme says, how long do you make your 304 wait for sex? It's not like a cookie cutter thing. See, this is the thing, right? A lot of people put emphasis on, you know, how long the pimping is going without sex, or before the sex is initiated for the first time, how long should you make a chick wait? Things like that, right? See, this is the thing. More so than focusing on that, it should be about not letting that be the biggest determining factor between you and that chick, the bond that y'all got going on, you know, what y'all building together. You don't want that to be the biggest determining factor within what y'all got going on with each other. You know what I mean? So you might have a chick and you might hit her in the first month. You might hit her in the first week, but then you might not hit her again for 6 months after that. You know, you might not hit her again for 5 months or whatever the case may be. You know, in that instance, you know, that's a situation where she's not sticking with you just because that's what's going on. She's not, you know, that's not the basis of what y'all have, the basis of your connection with each other. It's not based on that, right? On the other hand, you know, you might wait 6 months, you know, before you touch her, and then after you touch her, after that 6 months, you know, you hooked and you hitting it every day. You know what I mean? You hitting it several times a day, man. You know, that can be problematic. So, like I said, man, more so than focusing on how long you should make her wait before you go there, uh, focus on not allowing that to be the basis of the connection and the bond that y'all got with each other. You dig? But, you know, at the same time, you don't want to, you know, you really don't want to do it too quick. You don't want to just like come out the gate with that, because, you know, it can cause confusion and it can cause frustration. So you do want to establish things. You do want to, like I said before about sacrifice, you want to see that she's making certain sacrifices in order to be with you before you just bless her with that. But it's not necessarily a certain time frame that you can base that on, because you might have situations where, you know, again, back to the 6 months analogy, right? You might have a chick for 6 months, and you know, it's certain gestures that she ain't made with you, it's certain sacrifices that she ain't made with you, and then you got a chick to come in, and you know, she done made 10 times the sacrifices. She done show way more character, good attributes than the chick who been with you for 6 months. You know what I mean? That's just like one time I had a fresh turnout, and she had caught a case like within 30 days of being in the game and being with me. She caught a felony, and she was fighting this felony, and she sat in jail for like 3 months fighting this case, right? Ain't never been arrested before, fresh out of high school and fresh in the game, never been in handcuffs, and then all of a sudden here she is, you know, going to jail, and she got to sit down for 3 months, right? Not only did she keep it solid and kept her mouth closed, but you know, when you know, because a lot of chicks in that situation, they might be sitting in jail and saying to themselves like, damn, you know what, this ain't for me. When I get out of jail, I'm gonna go to school, or when I get out of jail, I'm gonna go get me a job or something like that. She didn't do none of that. She got out and came and got right back down with me, and we continued mashing, and you know, we had a nice run together for some years, right? So when a chick make a gesture like that, that's a short period of time. You know, uh, yeah, and then not just that, but within those little 30 days, she went across the country to a place where she ain't never been. She ain't never even left her little hometown. She done went with somebody that she just met to the other side of the country. And then when she got to that other side of the country, she was handling her business and she was staying down. And, she was being in pocket. She was, running it up. She was doing everything that the 304 supposed to do. And this is right away. This is like within a week's time of her being in the game. She doing all of this shit, right? So, and then on top of that, she goes to jail. Ain't never been to jail, fresh out of high school. Then she get out of jail after 3 months. And, she can continue staying solid, continue running it up, continue staying down. You know what I mean? What would be wrong with hitting somebody like that, like in a short time frame? So, yeah, man, like I said, it's not so much about the time frame, but like once you see a chick's character, and sometimes it takes longer than others. Some chicks take longer than others to display who they really are. But at the same time, if you a seasoned gentleman in this game, you know how to prompt a chick to show you who she is. Because you've been in the game, you a vet, and you done been through this shit. So you should know how to prompt a chick to show you who she is. You know how to put her in certain circumstances and see how she stand and deliver. And if she do the right thing and show you who she really is, what's wrong with going there with her. Like I said, you just don't want to make that the basis of your connection. So that's a good question. Adam Thomas says, "Do you sit in the court? Do you sit in the audience of the courtroom for her, or send someone else to sit in for her for you, so she knows you there to support?" I've done that, but I'll tell you, times is different now. So in most places in 2026, that's not the wisest thing to do, to go sit in the courtroom when the chick is in there. But I have done that before. But that's not the only way that you could show your support. Um, and even visiting. I've visited 304s while they was in jail before. And again, like I said, times is different now. In 2026, I wouldn't advise that. I wouldn't advise, pimping to go visit a 304 of his this in jail, or to go to the court date. Yeah, I wouldn't. I wouldn't advise that. But like I said, it's different ways that you can show your support, man. Correspondence, via telephone or letters and things like that. Uh, yeah, and then yeah, like I said, I wouldn't advise going to a courtroom. I've done it long, and it's been a long time since I've done that. A very long time. It's been a very long time since I've visited a 304 in jail, and it's been a very long time since I've went to a 304's court date. Now, sometimes you can it depends. Like if it's one of them type of court situations where it's a whole bunch of people, being seen, and there's no way to make a connection between you and that chick, you probably can do it like that sometimes, man. Like in LA County, them courthouses in LA County, like Long Beach Court, CCB Court, LAX and all that type of shit. Certain courtrooms be so busy and it be so much going on that they might not be able to connect you to that chick. In those kind of instances, you probably could pull it off like that, and then she able to lay eyes on you as long as y'all don't make no gestures to each other that tie you together with each other. You know, you might be able to pull it off like that, but it's still cutting it, man. You know, but me myself, I ain't gonna tell you to do nothing I wouldn't do, and me myself, I wouldn't go in no courtroom in no 2026. I wouldn't give a damn if there's 1,000 people in there, you know, 1,000 cases being heard and 1,000 people in the audience. I ain't gonna do it. What about jury duty, P? Well, you know, if you don't do jury duty, you might end up with a warrant. I got summons to jury duty one time when I was young. I was probably like 20 or 21 or something like that. They called me for jury duty in Long Beach court, and I went down there. It was a big room full of people, and they selected certain individuals, and I wasn't one of those individuals, so that was as far as it went. I went down there, and they picked certain people that was there, and they didn't pick me. So, so yeah, and I was glad, you know what I mean. But yeah, for 304 had to do jury duty. I don't know. That's a good question. I ain't never had no chick that had to do jury duty, and I've never had to do jury duty beyond like what I just described. So yeah, man, you may catch during jury duty. That's true. You just might. Hey, man, and it be certain courthouses, man. Like I keep mentioning Long Beach Court. Hey, that Long Beach courthouse, I ain't been down there in a long time, man. Fortunately, man, I done been to Long Beach Court so many times, it's a shame. But I haven't been to the Long Beach courthouse in a long time. I'm proud to say, man. You know, I haven't had to go down there in a long time. I don't even know how many times I done been in that damn courthouse. But I don't know about nowadays because, like I said, I ain't been in a long time. But man, back in the days, that Long Beach court, work. That Long Beach courthouse be having some work. Man, because like I said, back in them days, you know, when I have went to a 304's court date, man, it'd be a lot of chicks in there, man. Some of them be coming from the street, some of them be in custody, but man, and it tripped me out because oh yeah, Van Nuys Court too. Supposed the Prince, you ain't never lied. That Van Nuys Court be having some work too. That Van Nuys Court be having some work. But yeah, that Long Beach courthouse be having some work too, man. And like I said, you be having some of them coming in there in a jumpsuit because they in custody, and then you got some of them coming in from the streets. And man, when you hear the judge say 647B, you know what she in there for, man. When you hear that 647B, man, you know what she there for, man. 647B is the California Penal Code for prostitution. You dig? So yeah, when you hear that 647B, some work, man. And it be some bad ones in there, man. I be seeing some. They come in looking so square sometimes. Be like, damn, bitch, you in here, okay? All right. Yeah, but nah, that Van Nuys Court be having them too, man. It's another courthouse to be having plenty of work, man. Those the main courthouses that I've had to deal with, Van Nuys and Long Beach. Uh, I'd have been to CCB a few times. That's the criminal court building downtown. But I ain't got a whole lot of experience there. Yeah, those are the main courts that I'm familiar with. Van Nuys and Long Beach. Correct Vision. I know you know, man. Shit. Yeah, man. That Long Beach courthouse, man. in that Van Nuys courthouse, man. You did work. The Pomona courtroom. You know, I've been to Pomona a few times, but I ain't never been there like for them type of cases for like a 304's case. In a I've sent a 304 to court in Pomona, but I ain't never like went to a 304's court date in Pomona. Uh, so I don't know, but Pomona don't surprise me though. Oh, in Pomona court on Second Street out there had a few. Hell yeah, I'm already knowing shit because Pomona be cracking. So yeah, that Pasadena courthouse too has some work too. Yeah, I'm sure Pasadena got some work. And see, like, what surprised me about Long Beach courthouse back in the day having so much work up there, so many chicks there for those types of cases, was because I'm talking about during the time where the blade wasn't really popping in the city of Long Beach. See, now it's different because Long Beach Boulevard is actually popping on the Long Beach side. Long Beach Boulevard is actually popping in Long Beach now. So, uh, chicks might catch a case in the city of Long Beach on the blade. But see, back in the days, the internet must have really been popping in Long Beach because the blade wasn't popping in Long Beach at that time. But it was a bunch of chicks in that courtroom, man, for that 647B. So I was just like, damn, where y'all be at? This my city. Where y'all be at? I don't be seeing y'all. Where y'all be at, man? Where y'all be posting at? But yeah, Inglewood Court used to have some work when Century was cracking. Oh yeah, I'm sure back in them days. See, I ain't never damn, I don't think I ever been to Inglewood Court like for anything. Yeah, I ain't never been in. I've passed by it, of course. I know where it is, but uh I ain't never been to Inglewood Court. I done definitely slid a number or two to a few up in that courthouse though. That Long Beach court and that Van Nuys court. I done slid my number to a few. I ain't never knocked out the courthouse though. I ain't gonna sit here and lie. I done got some action, but it never came to fruition with anything, you know what I mean? I'm trying to think though. I think I did knock something at that Linwood jail, man. I think I did knock something at the Linwood jail, man, when my peoples got out. Now that used to be the shit. When your peoples get out of Linwood jail and you pull up over there, oh man. Hey, the Linwood jail and CCDC, Clark County Detention Center in Vegas, man. That back door. That back door to let you out right there by the Chevron, man, down the street from the Greyhound station in the DTC, man. Yeah, Vegas used to, man, shit. That back door by Vegas, man, yeah. Action. And see, that's what was so cool about Vegas back in the day. See, everything different now. Greyhound station ain't even downtown no more. They shut down the DTC and made some other shit that, don't be jumping like the DTC used to be jumping in Vegas. The DTC was the downtown transit center. That's where all the buses in Vegas from all around town, all the buses all over Vegas used to pull up downtown at the DTC. So if you was at the DTC, you could catch a city bus to anywhere in Vegas because that's where all of them came. But man, DTC used to have work, and the Greyhound station used to have work, and it was so cool because you know both of them was close to CCDC, which is the jail. All of it is in downtown Vegas, but that's why it was cool to hang out at the Greyhound station or the DTC because when chicks get out of jail, a lot of times that's the first place they gonna go. If they folks ain't there to pick them up or they ain't got money for a taxi or nothing like that, they either gonna go to the Greyhound station or they gonna go to the DTC. So yeah, man, it was the good old days. Vegas used to have the best Greyhound station. Far as like potential to knock something, oh yes, the Vegas Greyhound station, man. Good old Vegas, man. Melissa McQueen, good looking with the $2 holla. Appreciate you. And Google me 6053. Good looking with the $5 holla. If she gives you all her money, when and if she leaves, does she leave with any money or things? We're going to get to that in just a second. Good question, though. It's weird. I could see a super chat on here that I don't see on, or I see it on here that I don't see on here, but oh, maybe it might have got sniped down. I ain't tripping no, but I see it here. Melissa McQueen, good looking again with the $2 holla. You look skinny. Are you okay? Do I look okay? Do I look sick? I know I done obviously done slimmed down, more lean nowadays. You know, pimp over here slimming. But do I look bad though? Do I look sick? You know what I mean? See, I'm so a lot of people do be mentioning my appearance and things like that, right? Let me just say this. I'm going through a physical transformation with myself right now, you know? And it's a beautiful thing. For real. It's a lovely thing, man. You know, I'm as many of you know, I'm always, you know, into my health and fitness. But right now, what I'm building right now is just a beautiful thing, man. It feels great and it's coming together great. You dig? All you got to do is stay tuned and you're going to see. You're going to see. Oh, but back to that question. Let me go back to that question. Did Google me ask if she gives you all her money, when and if she leaves, does she leave with any money or things? Now, uh, it can be yes and it can be no, right? Now, with me, as far as things, like anything that she hold up for, like, clothes, materials, maybe even a vehicle or something or a place that she's living in or something like that. If she's leaving respectfully, if she's going out the door in a respectable fashion, then yeah, she could have all that type of stuff. Me, I don't care about that. I don't care about the little apartment. I don't care about the car. That shit don't move me. So she can have all of those things as long as she's leaving correctly and respectfully, right? Uh, and then see, this is something that a lot of people don't talk about, right? And this is something that is to be earned, right? Again, we talking about sacrifice. Uh, but if a chick is handling her business accordingly, see, one thing about me, I'm gonna do what a lot of cats in the game ain't gonna do. Just like I'm a teach a bitch an instructor on how to come in and get in with me, I'm also gonna teach her on what to do when she wants to leave, right? And this is a mistake that a lot of cats have made, and why a lot of cats are, locked up with a Buck Rogers number right now, and they probably ain't gonna never see the light of day because they made a chick feel trapped. They made her feel like she can't leave, or that it's gonna be so difficult for her to leave that she might as well just stick around because she don't want to go of leaving because you gonna make it hard for her to leave, right? I make it real easy for a chick to leave, and I'm gonna tell her how to do it, right? And the thing about me is, if a chick is handling her business accordingly, right? If she doing what she's supposed to do, and she done made sacrifices and she done proved herself, and she's tried and true and all that type of shit. Not only am I going to instruct her on how to leave when and if she wants to leave, but I'm gonna make sure that she's able to leave in a smooth fashion. You know, she might even have a few dollars in her bank account, and when I say a few dollars, I'm talking about more than literally a few dollars, but enough money to make a move with. Right? She might have that in her bank account because you know it's just been there, right? That's just been it's just been there. I know it's there. She know it's there, and it might have been sitting there for a year or two or however long. But when and if she want to make a move, she could go. You know, um, yeah. So you do have instances where a chick is able to move like that, but that's a chick that's been handling her business though, and in the game, unfortunately, it ain't a lot of that going on nowadays. So, but like I said, yes and no. Now, if the broad is just a punk and she don't handle her business and she giving the pimping more headaches than prosperity, then yeah, she probably ain't gonna leave with really much of anything. But that's her fault though. It's not like the pimping took something from her on her way out the door. It's just that she wasn't handling her priorities accordingly, and that's why she's leaving empty-handed, right? So yeah, that's what that is, man. Marlon Clayton says, "What happened to the suits?" Man, Pimp still got plenty of suits, man. But I'm out the country right now, man, and if I was to bring all of my suits out here, man, that would be a lot to travel with. And then two, Colombia is just different, man. And I put on a suit one time out here, right? I wore a suit one time out here. And it was just overkill, man. They really was treating me like the president, man. I couldn't take two steps without, people being in my face and trying to get me to come in a club and all this shit, man. The harassment was just overwhelming for me, man. So uh, I was like, yeah, ain't no need to wear no suits out here, man. So, so yeah, Pimp got plenty of suits, man. That's just customary, man. As the pimping, one thing we gonna do is keep some suits, you know. But the thing is, like I said, out here in Colombia, you ain't gonna really see me wearing those suits out here because it's just overkill. But when I'm back home, you know what I mean? When I'm in the States and shit, yeah, of course, you're gonna see me suited and booted on the regular. So yeah. Reading these comments, man. Dante Hinton says, "You put us on a cheat code for real though. That turkey doing numbers with the protein. All I'm eating on, all I'm eating on the cut." Yeah, see, so this is the trip thing. This is what I kind of learned through trial, right? Now, I done made some slight adjustments to the way I'm eating currently, but so what I was doing for like most of the past 3 years, the better part of the last 3 years, I've been eating twice a day, and that's two salads. And the two salads that I've been eating have usually had either a pound of ground turkey or a pound of ground chicken or a pound of salmon. The salmon less common than the turkey and the chicken, but a pound of one of those in each salad twice a day. So for the day, it will be a total of 2 pounds of, whatever kind of meat. But for the past, like, maybe 4 months, for about the past 4 months, what I've been doing is eating that same amount of food in one meal. So basically, like the amount of food that I would eat I eat it all at one time. So I've been eating once a day. But see, the thing about eating once a day is still intermittent fasting, like the 2 times a day. But when you go longer periods of time without eating, you get into that fat burn mode, right? You get into ketosis. So that's what's been going on. I've been eating the same amount of food, but because I eat once a day instead of twice a day, and I've been walking a lot, I just been burning a whole bunch of fat, right? So that's why my face look as, slim and trim as it do right now. You dig? Because I done burned a whole lot of fat. So it's a trip how you can eat the same amount of food in one sitting and lose a whole lot of weight and burn a whole lot of fat, as opposed to eating that same amount of food within two sittings, 12 hours apart from each other. Because that when I was eating twice a day, that's normally what I do. I eat every 12 hours. So yes, it's a trip how it works like that. But now that I'm back, putting my size on, like I said, I'm going through this transformation right now, and it's a beautiful thing. But what I've been doing lately is, before I go to the gym, I will eat like a can of sardines or something like that. And so I'm eating twice a day, but the first time within the day that I eat is kind of like a smaller meal, because it's just a can of sardines. It's not like a whole lot of food. So yeah, a can of sardines, and I might throw some mussels in there with it too. So sardines and mussels, man. Uh, I usually, as far as shellfish, I really was only eating like oysters, but for some strange reason, here in Colombia, or at least in Medellin, they don't really have canned oysters like that. Or not even just canned oysters, but like oysters, period. Now, if I go to like a seafood market or something like that, I probably can find some not some canned, but some fresh oysters. But uh, I usually like to get the little canned oysters and put them in my salad, but um, they don't really have them out here like that. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because they too expensive, like the import fees is too crazy or something. I don't know. But because I can't find oysters out here, the next best thing is mussels. I don't even be seeing clams like that either. I think I've seen some clams before, but oysters, no. But mussels, yeah. So, but the reason why, because at first, and a lot of y'all know, I stopped eating shellfish probably like 3 years ago now, something like that, a little bit over 3 years ago. I stopped eating shellfish, but I started back eating just oysters, because oysters are an incredible source of zinc, and zinc is crucial for your for your testosterone as a man, right? So yeah, egg yolks got a little zinc in them too, but oysters got hella zinc, right? So a lot of guys, when they start getting up in age, man, when they get past 40, and then some dudes be taking it even less than that, man, but they be taking testosterone, TRT supplements and all that type of shit. Uh, you really ain't got to do all of that, man, if you take care of yourself, man. I'm 44, I'll be 45 this year, man. And I don't eat a bunch of sugar, and I don't overeat. I'm not obese or nothing like that. So because I'm not obese and I ain't got diabetes and I ain't putting a bunch of bullshit in my body, my sexual health game is on point, man. But a lot of dudes get older and they testosterone start dropping a little bit and they feel like they want to do all this extra shit to get their testosterone levels right. But you really don't have to do that, man. The beautiful thing about what God did is that he made our food, in a way that if we eat accordingly, whatever we need is in our food, man. So, like I said, if you a man and your sex ain't really up to par, this what you do. I need to make a separate video about just this, right? But make sure you eat some eggs every day. Make sure you eat some oysters. Me, if I could, like if they had canned oysters down here, I'd be eating oysters every day. Like when I'm in the States, I eat oysters every day. But if you can, eat you some oysters, at least 3 times a week. If you ain't like me and you don't want to eat them every day, at least eat some oysters 3 times a week and eat you some eggs every day with the yolk. And don't cook the yolk all the way through. Eat you some eggs, whether they soft boiled, don't hard boil them. If you eat some eggs and you boil them, don't hard boil them, like soft boil them, because if you hard boil them and you cook the yolk all the way through, then it's going to take away from the nutrients. But either that or over easy or sunny side up. Again, don't cook the yolk all the way through. But eat you some eggs every day, man. Me, I eat at least 6 eggs every day. Sometimes more. So eat you some eggs, eat you some oysters, and get your Kegel on. Do your Kegels, man. So you could get your pelvic floor strong. Learn about the pelvic floor. See, all of them 3 things right there is gonna get is gonna have your sex game right, man. If you 40 and above, especially if you 50 and above, but if you even 40 and above, make sure you on a healthy diet, man. Don't be eating too much motherfucking sugar and all that type of shit. But on top of that, eat you some oysters. Eat you some eggs where the yolk ain't cooked all the way through. Make sure you eat the yolk and get your Kegel on, man. Exercise that pelvic floor. Get that pelvic floor right, man, so that you so that you standing at attention, man, with no problem, you dig? And you shooting with no problem, man. Yeah, see this I'll show you one Kegel exercise right now. Do these and like push your legs apart as far as you can, and don't lean. I'm on a couch with it right now, so I'm leaning back against the couch, but don't lean back against nothing. No, just do it on the floor, and don't lean back against nothing, and hold yourself up like this for as long as you can. Yeah. Do them, and it's a bunch of other different exercises that you could do, but get that pelvic floor right. You know what I mean? It's some exercises that you could do. I don't even want to talk about because it's kind of like it's kind of unpleasant to talk about. You know what I mean? It's kind of like TMI, man. But whatever exercise you could do to get your pelvic floor strong, man, do that. But yeah, man, you know, cause I seen this brother, man. He big on YouTube too, but I didn't even I had never even heard of him until I seen this video. And I had been meaning to do a live about this shit. I might do it tomorrow. But it's this brother, man. He's a food critic. Like he goes to different restaurants and reviews the food and shit like that. And he been on YouTube for a long time. His name, a lot of y'all, I'm sure, are familiar with him because he got over 1 million subscribers. But his name is, I think it's Dame something. What's that brother's name, man? What's that brother's name, man? But anyway, I came. Dame drops. Dame drops. I knew some of y'all knew who he was because, like I said, he big. Now I had never even. I wasn't. I'm surprised. I wasn't familiar with this brother until I seen him do a series of videos talking about him getting a prosthetic thing or getting a pump put in his thing, man. The man got a pump. He got the Reebok pump. Y'all stupid. Let me stop laughing, man. Y'all gotta stop, man. I'm trying to be respectful of the brother, man. Uh, but real shit though, the man got a pump in his joint because he wasn't able to stand up. Right? Now, for those of y'all who don't know, the Dame drops. He's a big dude. He tall and big. I want to say he at least 6'5". He might be taller than that. And on top of that, he's a very big brother, right? He been eating crazy for a long time. He been a diabetic for a long time, right? And this just goes to show you what bad eating can do to you for if you do it for, years and years throughout your life. So this man has been a diabetic for a long time and he's been overweight for a long time. And he got to the point. Y'all gotta chill on these comments, man. Y'all stupid, man. I ain't fucking with y'all, man. Stop it, man. Stop. But anyway, so the brother Dame drops. He got to a point where he couldn't perform in bed with his wife. When the time would come, he wouldn't be able to stand up. So, he started, I guess weighing out his options. And see, all of that stuff is reversible and you can fix that. Now, it's kind of I understand, right? It's kind of a messed up catch 22 for him because that's his bread and butter. His bread and butter has been food reviews. So he got to eat a lot of bullshit to generate ad revenue on YouTube and whatever else he got going on. He probably got all kind of sponsorships and shit like that. He done been on all kind of, different TV shows and things. So I get that part, right? But it's like, hey man, if I got to change up the type of content that I do for the sake of my joint being able to stand up, man, and I got to stop eating all this bullshit food and change my diet around and lose weight and you know, become insulin sensitive again and get rid of this diabetes, hey, that's what I'm gonna do, man. Like, so this man, correct vision, man. You an asshole, man. You so cold with it, man. Damn, I'm trying to be nice, man. I'm trying to be respectful. But anyway, the dude Dane drops, and he had to lose a lot of weight before he could even do the operation, which means he had to like cut back on the food and do all that shit and lose a certain amount of weight just to be able to do the operation. But he did what he had to do, and he went and got a pump put in his joint, man. And that shit is crazy. And I seen a couple of videos where he was talking about the shit and describing like the whole process and how he came to the decision to do it and when he actually did it, and you know that shit is crazy, man. Man, that shit is crazy. Like, just talking about it is like, god damn. Listen, now don't get it twisted. I love food, right? It's a lot of food that I don't eat no more that I could still appreciate the taste of. Certain food that I don't eat ain't even appealing to me no more. Like hamburgers, that shit ain't appealing no more. Pork chop, anything from the pig, ain't none of that shit appealing. Uh, oh man, y'all so cold, man. Y'all just ain't got no respect for Dame Drops, man. I'm trying to be cool and respectful of the brother, man, but no, like what I'm saying is, as much damage as he did to himself with his diet, he could fix all that naturally. You know what I mean? Because that's just me. If I got to a point where I just been eating bad for so long that and I done got so out of control that now my joint won't stand up. Listen, man. Listen, man. I'm about to change everything. I'm about to stop eating all this bullshit food. Do what I gotta do. Like I said, eat a bunch of oysters, eat a bunch of eggs, pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds is another good source of zinc. I need to go get me some pumpkin seeds. I keep forgetting to go get some. Probably go get some tomorrow. But yeah, pumpkin seeds is another good source of zinc, man. But just anything with some zinc, exercise that pelvic floor, man. And it's some brothers. It's probably some people watching right now that's probably dealing with the same shit, and just too embarrassed to talk about it and don't want to share it with nobody. Which I can understand, because I would imagine if I was going through that shit, see the Dame Drops dude, he bold. I wouldn't share that shit with nobody like he did, man. Like a pump and all that. Like I give him props just on his transparency, man, because he broke down the whole process, man. Y'all stupid. Man, something wrong with y'all, man. But something wrong with me too. I'm stupid too, man. So that's why y'all so stupid, man. Trader Joe's got them smoked pumpkin seeds with sea salt. Yeah, pumpkin seeds is another good source of zinc. Pumpkin seeds, I think broccoli got zinc in it too. But the best sources of zinc that I know of is probably pumpkin seeds and uh, oysters. But clams and mussels, those are good sources of zinc too. But as far as like shellfish, don't ain't nothing messing with oysters. Oysters is like 10 times the amount of zinc as all the other foods and shit like that. But but yeah, you gotta take care of yourself, man, because ain't no way in the world that I love food more than being able to have an erection. If I gotta choose between food and erection, I'm gonna choose the erection, man. I'm gonna go in the direction of the erection, man. I like these this macaroni and cheese and these cakes and pies and cookies and all this, that's cool and everything, man, but ain't nothing like being able to stand at attention, man, when you want to, man. And sometimes when you don't even want to, man. Ain't nothing like being able to stand up. And there's no kind of food that tastes so good that is willing that is worth the sacrifice of being able to stand at attention. And see, so what's bad about the dang drops dude situation, like him doing that is like, the way I see it is like putting a band-aid on a bullet wound. He now that he got that pump, he probably gonna keep eating the same way, eating the same bullshit that got him in that situation in the first place. I'm cool, man. It is not worth all of that. Brother Bill, good looking with the $2 holler. I do pumpkin seeds, but good look on the oysters. Yeah, Bill, them oysters, man. That's the. I don't think there's any food with higher content of zinc than oysters. Oysters got the most zinc. Yeah, so you have to get some oysters, man. Gotta make sure you eat them oysters, man. Especially if you 40 and above like myself. Even though I don't have no problems, even before I start eating oysters like this, I've been able to stand up. But I'm trying to be 100 years old, still knocking shit down. Trying to be 100 years old, you know what I mean, still knocking a young one down, you know what I mean, knocking her socks off, you dig? 100 years old though, you know what I mean, still standing up, man. Yeah, that's how I'm gonna be 100 years old, still doing Kegels, still eating oysters, still eating eggs with the egg yolk, you know what I mean? All of that, for sure. The gangster lifestyle, good looking with the $5 holler. What up, Freeze? Touching down in Medellin next week. Let me ask, was there any problem at the airport going through customs? Good question. Now, me personally, the couple of times, because I've flown into Medellin twice now, and both times when I came through, I didn't have no problems, like nothing suspicious, no funny activities. I didn't have no issues, right? But okay, so let me tell you this, right? Um, Now I know you probably ain't gonna do this. You ain't gonna have this problem, but this just give you an example of what gets people shut down. Right now, I just seen on the news a couple days ago out here. Right, this dude was coming from. I think he was coming from somewhere in Europe. I think he was a European dude, but this fool got turned. He got sent back home because his luggage had a gang, sex toys in it. He had some crazy shit in his luggage, man. And they seen all them toys in his luggage, and they was like, "Nah, buddy, you not about to come over here." Oh, he was coming from Brazil, but he was from somewhere else though. So he was coming from Brazil to Medellin, and he had a bunch of toys, kinky toys in his suitcase, man. And they was like, "Nah, man, you ain't coming over here with that." So they sent him back to whatever country he was from. So that, and then I remember a couple months ago, this other guy, he was from the States, I'm pretty sure, but he had 100 condoms in his suitcase. They turned his ass away. You know what I mean? So don't come down here with a gazillion condoms in your suitcase thinking you about to throw your dick a party, you know what I mean, like never before. Get your condoms when you here, man. They got just like they got condoms in the U.S. They got condoms down here. Get your condoms after you touch down, man. And even if you like toys and shit like that, they got sex shops all around here, man. So if you want to get you some toys, man, get the toys after you land. Don't bring the toys in your suitcase, man. You know what I mean? And if you got some toys, like dude, he coming from Brazil, he probably bought the toys in Brazil, or maybe he took them with him to Brazil. Leave the toys behind, man. Just get you a new get you a new set of toys when you touch down, man. But other than that though, man, I've heard stories about them going through people's phones and trying to see like what kind of content they got on their phone and stuff like that. I haven't had any of them type of issues. And um so another thing that I've heard about that I haven't experienced is people coming in, right, and not having a return flight or a flight that's leaving here, a outgoing flight, right? Now me, both times that I came in, they didn't ask me for no flight information leaving here. I don't know what it is about me, and I don't know what makes them, target different people or whatever the case may be. But I have it's been smooth for me, but everybody ain't like that, cause like when I got here on New Year's Day, right, and it was a bunch of other people that got here that same day, so I was chopping it up with them downtown on New Year's Day, and they was like, yeah, they asked me for the return flight, man. I had to hurry up and buy a flight and whoopty whoopty whoop. I was like, damn. It was like a circle of us chopping it up. It was like five or six of us, and like all of them, I think except for one other person besides myself, didn't get asked for the return flight information. So like I said, I haven't had no issues, man. But I don't know if it's like a random like luck of the draw type of thing that makes them, question certain people a certain way. But I haven't had no issues. So Sub-Zero drums, man, as always, coming through making the game look good. You dig? Good looking with the $100 holler. Coming through with the big love. You dig? Samoa Samo still international with it. Yeah, yeah. Glory to the game. Long live Simple. For sure, man. Appreciate you as always, man. You know. And if y'all ain't subscribed to Sub-Zero Drums channel, man, he always doing some fly shit. Y'all gotta go check him out. Scotty the Pimp again, good looking with the $5 holler. Say Pete, my work want a BBL. I think she earned it. What kind of game you got on the topic, P? Gratitude and blessings to you. Uh, honestly, man, I haven't ever gotten a chick a BBL. I've had a couple that came with a BBL already, but as far as like me putting a BBL on a chick, that ain't, to each their own. And if a chick want a BBL, I ain't mad at it. But I haven't wanted to do that to a chick, and I haven't had a chick that like really was adamant about getting that done. I've had chicks mention it before, but it was never like a real serious consideration. So, but what I will say is this: like, if you're thinking about coming down here getting it done, I don't know. Now I know it's like a lot cheaper, probably down here than it is in the States, but a lot of these chicks BBLs down here, I'm talking about the ones that live here or just down here, spending time here, they should be looking terrible. Like the BBLs in the States be looking way better than the ones down here. I don't know if it's because they using outdated methods or whatever. I don't know if it's because they not doing the fat transfer shit like they do in the States. I don't know. But a lot of the BBLs I be seeing down here don't be looking good, man. So whatever the case, but then again, Colombia is a big country, so and I'm sure it's a whole bunch of doctors down here to do their thing. So I would just do as much research as possible if you plan on coming here or going to a different country that might also be cheaper than the United States. Uh, I would just do as much research as possible. But then on the other hand too, uh, I think Miami is a good place to get that done because it's so many places out there that do it and, have a lot of good reviews and things like that. So, yeah, wherever you go and whatever you do, I would just do as much research as possible, man, and make sure that you know as much about the doctor, the, you know, the practice that they got going on and shit like that. See to it that you know as much about them as possible before you pull the trigger on it. You know what I mean? Because you don't want to have a botched situation. So yeah, and then too, as far as procedures, you probably know that, and the chick probably know that already too. But it seems like the fat transfer is probably the best way to go about it. Them other type of BBLs, like I said, these chicks around here, and I'm not even like a fan of BBLs. I don't really care for them like that. But these chicks down here, man, they be having some fucked up BBLs. They should be looking terrible, you know. So I don't know what they doing or who they going to, and how they doing it and all of that. But man, shit, I probably done seen some cool BB. See, I seen a chick in the gym this morning, man. God damn. She was thick as hell, but her booty just looked unreal. Like it looked nice, but it was like, nah, that can't be real. You ever seen a bitch with a booty like that? You like, nah, that can't be real. But what made her shit look real was that her thighs kind of matched the booty. The booty was just like super perfect, but like it had a little jiggle to it. You know what I mean? When she was exercising, that joint was moving. It was, her booty was moving. You know what I mean? That motherfucker had a mind of its own, and she had the thighs to match. But she was cold though. Probably gonna see her again tomorrow, or technically this morning because it's technically the next day where I'm at. But probably gonna see her in there again this morning. You know what I mean? She was light skinned, had the curly, super light skin with the curly hair, the long curly hair, and the booty was on dubs. Bitch had the booty on 26s, man. But they be looking like a bag of VHS tapes. You ain't never lied, man. But I say all that to say the chick who I seen in the gym this morning, if that's a BBL, whatever doctor she went to, yeah, he know what he doing. But I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't a BBL though. The booty was tremendous, man. I wish I knew what her social media was so I could show you, man. But yeah, that shit ridiculous. Freeze did the spirit fingers. Yeah, her booty was just moving, man. Like she was doing certain exercises and shit. Her booty was just, what I mean? That motherfucker had some rhythm to it. I was rocking to the rhythm too. I'm looking at the booty like, the booty was crazy, man. The hamstrings never lie. That's what I'm saying, man. Her legs matched the booty, man. Her legs was super thick. And her booty was super thick and her stomach was super flat and her hips and waist was just like she was super. That's what was crazy about it. She was thick as hell, but she was super lean at the same time. Like her stomach was flat. You know what I mean? Her arms was like nicely toned up and shit. And when you get to that bottom half, man, like that shit was just crazy. That shit just like, I was like, damn, this chick, she getting it in. So I don't know, man. Hold on, y'all. Give me just a second. Right. Look at Bill. Bill said, I've massaged a few of them chicks. Some work out, some are built like ants. Yeah, yeah, I'm already knowing. And that's the thing to me. It's like, man, the gym do wonders, man. I done seen the gym serve a lot of chicks justice, man. Hold up. 50 floors up, good looking with the $2 holla. Any complaints on your consultations? Nah. Nah, I don't nah. I don't know why I don't know why somebody would complain about that. Not that I like I ain't heard about no complaints. I don't know if you asking that because you thinking about doing a consultation, but nah, I ain't had no complaints. But good looking with the $2 holla though. They smuggle cocaine in them BBLs. My point exactly. They lazy if they getting surgeries. Yeah, man. Because even in spite of what your genetics might be, man. Like, see, people just don't like process anymore. People don't respect process. But that gym do wonders, man. If you eat accordingly and work out accordingly, that gym do wonders. He sound like a complaint came through human resources. Yeah, man. Like I said, I ain't had no complaints. But see, I get it though because you got a lot of dudes that be doing consultations, man, and people be paying them for consultations, and they just be, they be con artists, they be charlatans and shit like that, man. So I get it, I understand, but nah, Freeze ain't no charlatan, man. I ain't gonna talk to you about nothing that I don't know about. I'm not gonna try to sell you anything. I don't have no course. Not knocking people that have courses and things like that, but I ain't gonna do the consultation with you and then get you to try to buy my course or go to my school or some shit like that. I don't have all of that type of shit going on. So yeah, mess with the Ganesh, the geisha or chicken of the sea oysters for the salad. Uh, I don't think I've had the chicken of the sea ones. The geisha, The geisha ones, I think I had those before. But the chicken of the sea oysters, I don't think I've had those. But but yeah, man, them oysters is crucial, man. You gotta eat you some oysters, man. If you a man and you, like I said, you 40 and above, eat you some oysters, man. Thank me later. 54's upset. Sinful always said he felt like people wanted him to do their work while they relax and reap the benefits on the consultations. Yeah, you do have them types of individuals, man. You do have them types of individuals. I know exactly what Sinful was talking about when he said that for sure. You know what I mean? You do have them types of people out there that they like in Sinful's case, they wanted him to do the work for them. They want to lace the boots up and and do everything. But see, that's one thing with Sinful right now. Sinful was great at giving instructions and great at telling people what to do and how to do it, right? But see, me myself, more so than telling somebody what to do and how to do it, I do my best, and of course I'm not perfect, right? But I do my best to help somebody think the right way. Because if you have the right type of thinking and you know how to think accordingly, you can figure shit out for yourself, right? And if you can't figure shit out for yourself, then it probably ain't meant for you. But of course, in some instances I could tell somebody what to do and exactly what to do and how to do it. But more so than that, I would love to help some on how to think the right way. So yeah. Oysters got the texture of boogers. Yeah, but hey, you know what I mean? You could say that as far as the oysters having it, but they gonna make your manhood add a texture of you dig. So hey man, I wouldn't give a damn if they had the texture of boogers or a sponge or whatever the texture was. They got that zinc, man. Oysters gonna make you stand up. So, Freeze, what's your favorite Sinful to Peace story? Y'all like the real stack and smoke. Long live King Sinful to P. Man, favorite Sinful to Peace story, man. Man, I got so many, man, but trying to think of a Sinful to Peace story I haven't told y'all, man. I don't know. I've told y'all so much, man. Trying to think of one that I haven't shared. Well, I've shared this one before, but I think I shared it not too long ago, man. But uh, I shared this one before, but one of my fondest memories with Sinful was, again, like I said before, man, we was at the Fox Hills Mall, and it was the weekend. I forget, I can't remember if it was a holiday or something, but it was super busy at the Fox Hills Mall. And we was walking to the car, we was walking through the parking lot, and we ran into this older white lady. She had to be probably, if she wasn't 80, she was close to it, but she was an elderly white woman, right? And she was looking for her car. She couldn't find her car. And Sinful and I, we walked around the whole parking lot trying to help this woman find her car, right? And man, we must have walked around with this woman for like an hour. But Sinful was just so patient with her. Of course, I was being patient. He was just like so patient and accommodating. Like that side of his character is just like a side that I wish more people was able to experience and appreciate from him, man. Because you know, if more people were able to see that side of him, that that's just some shit that happens in real time. You can't plan for that. Like you can't script that. You can't make a script to be able to show somebody that type of character. But just like how patient he was with that lady, man. And then when we finally helped her find her car, man, we, like I said, we walked around with her for probably about an hour. Then we finally helped her find her car. And but just that experience, you know what I mean? I wish more people was able to see that side of him, because if they were able to, then all the questionable things that they said about him, man, that shit would have been abolished. Like if people was able to see that, they wouldn't even imagine no other funny shit. There was all the slander that was on his name and shit like that. That would have been eradicated if people was able to see more of him. I mean, people on the internet, they've seen a lot of good gestures from Sinful. He done a lot of good shit, but it's just certain things that like you would have to like personally know him to just see the extent of his character. And yeah, that's one moment, man, that I wish it was like a hidden camera somewhere to be able to show everybody like how he was with that lady. He was making her laugh. He gonna say some funny shit. He was just a sweetheart with her. You know what I mean? He was real kind and accommodating and gentle. And yeah, it was a good experience, man. I'll never forget that. So yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Very honorable. Yeah. Blessings Freeze, those old vids on your YouTube you did back in the day with the fitted cap. Caps are classic, tremendous, good game. For sure. Appreciate you, man. You helped me take control of my life, P. Much respect to you and yours. Royal, man, I appreciate you, man. YouTube took away the Hurricane Harvey video. Yeah, man. See stuff like that. Exactly. You know what I mean? That's the type of stuff that I'm talking about, man. Like, man, that was a cold video too, man. I wish it was some type of way I might be able to reach out to YouTube and get that joint back. It's probably been too long though, because I know certain videos that they take away, you can get them back, but I think when it's been a certain amount of time, you probably can't. Because it was one video they took away from me before I think I was able to get it back. But actually, it was a few videos they took from me that I was able to get back. But I think once it's been like so long, because that been years, man, so I don't even think that it's possible to get that joint back. Freeze, what's the happiest you ever seen Sin? The happiest? I don't know. Let me see. Let me think. The happiest that I've ever seen, bro. I mean, it's a lot of times, like it's a lot of good happy moments I've seen with Sinful, but just in general, the happiest moments, like I can't really pinpoint one particular moment that was the happiest, but the happiest moments that I've ever seen was when he was doing something when he was being a blessing to somebody. Like when he donated to his high school, that was a good moment for him. Different times where he done been a blessing to different people, you know, in different ways, man. That was just normal for him. But those to me was like the happiest times for him, when he was able to be a blessing to people. Or like I could say that like again, probably not like a particular, not like a particular moment, but put it like this: some of my favorite moments of like him at his happiest was when he was spending time with my kids. You know what I mean? Because my kids, that he built to them. So just Sinful, he was like the cool uncle, you know what I mean? So I remember one time uh I had the kids with me, right, and he we was all together, and they was real little. They was probably like my son and daughter was probably like 4 or 5 years old. Nah, they might have been a little bit older than that. They was probably like 5 and 6. My daughter was probably about 5. My son was probably about 6. And to my surprise, they didn't know they didn't know who Michael Jackson was, right? So Sinful was telling them about Michael Jackson. He was like, "Man, y'all don't know who Michael Jackson is?" They was like, "Nah." So he started showing them videos on YouTube of Michael Jackson, and they was just blown away. You know what I mean? They was blown away, right? So my son, this little fool, man, he started going to school, and he was telling all his friends at school that Michael Jackson. He started telling everybody at school that Michael Jackson was his dad, man. And I was just like, if Mike your dad, man, shit, like, I was like, man, what about me, man? Like, what happened to me, man? I thought I was your dad, man. But nah, that shit was funny though, man. He really was going to school telling everybody that Michael Jackson was his dad. But just yeah, it was just cool like seeing him with the kids, man, and teaching them about old school music and shit like that, and just showing them different shit, and just like, you know, how careful he was with kids, and how accommodating he was. Like, that those is like some of my favorite times with him too, for sure. Watching him beat Uncle Phil, you know what I mean? But yeah, that shit was funny as hell though, man. My baby mama told me that the school called her, telling her that her son was up there telling everybody that Michael Jackson was telling everybody Michael Jackson was his dad, man. That shit had me, I ain't gonna lie, that shit had me dying. I was like, damn, he cold blooded. Like, damn, Mike your dad for real? Oh man, he probably don't even remember that shit. He damn, that's crazy. He about to be 18, man. He gonna be 18 this year, but he probably don't even remember doing that. That shit funny. My cousin cried when he found out Michael Jackson passed, and it was 2015. Laughing my ass off. He was 9 years old. Yeah, that's funny. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they know now because they teenagers, but I don't think bro told them that Michael Jackson had died. Pretty sure he didn't. Do you have a Phil Jackson sinful story? Yeah, I got a few of those, man. I seen somebody in the comment too asking if Phil Jackson and Sinful knew each other. Of course they did. They was real cool with each other, man. But um, yeah, I remember one time we was all on a conference call, man. It was me, Phil, Sinful, and I can't remember who else, but I want to say it was like two or three other P's on the line. But we was on the phone about 5 or 6 deep, and you know that's one thing about Sinful, man. When it comes to the young pimping, man, if young pimping got potential to be greater than what they are, and they falling short of that greatness, Sinful gonna bite you up. So Sinful just start going in on Phil, man. And Phil, he could hold his own, man, but yeah, this is like the elder sin and the young Phil, you know what I mean? Uh Sin was just he was biting him up and shit like that. But yeah, that was it was a funny little time. But yeah, Sinful had a liking for Phil too though. You know what I mean? Sinful, We all did, man. We liked young Phil, man. He just was a young cat in the game that made the game look good, man. He was like cut from a cloth that came before his time. So yeah, Sinful had a liking for young Phil. Sinful Jackson roasted a lot of dudes. He definitely did. Like I said, I like when I was talking about another Bill Jackson, he was the type he gonna make you want to fight. He had a lot of dudes ready to fight him because of his mouthpiece being so raw. You know what I mean? I'd have seen it. Phil definitely make you want to fight for sure. Much love and respect, brother Freeze, for keeping Sinful's memories alive. Marlon, I appreciate you, man. I got to do that. I got to keep bro name alive and thriving. Somebody got to do it, man. But yeah, man, we're going to go ahead and wrap this thing on up in just a minute. Appreciate y'all getting the likes up too and wiping your feet off at the door when you step into a Pimps domain. I see y'all been doing that. Appreciate you good looking. Correct vision of food. Blanket. I'm Blanket Jackson. Correct vision stupid. Yeah, my son was trying to make people think he was Blanket. Really going to school telling everybody Michael Jackson was his dad. He cold blooded for that. What's something that Sinful told you that happened after he passed besides the slander? Oh, what's something that Sinful told you was going to happen after he passed? Uh, some kind of like personal, internal things that I wouldn't share with nobody else. But yeah, he definitely knew certain things. He called certain things as they would be, for sure. But yeah, that's between me and him. But he definitely knew that the slander was gonna come for sure. He knew that. Adam Thomas says, give another good story about Phil Jackson. Oh man. So one time, this is one of the moments that Phil had a dude ready to fight, you know what I mean? And we was in Vegas and Phil was roasting this one cat whose name ain't even worthy of mention because he's a sucker. But Phil was roasting him, right? And he trying to go back and forth with Phil, but Phil just tearing him up. So Phil was like, "Yeah, man, you over there with your girlfriend and wooty wooty whoop. You saving that hoe." Da, da, da. So Phil talking about how he's saving his 304's, saving his girlfriend and shit, right? So Phil had a blazer on. He had a red blazer on. I'll never forget. And him and the dude going back and forth. They face to face with each other, right? We was over there by Bally's at the time, which is the Horseshoe now, but back then it was Bally's. And Phil take his blazer off, and we think he taking his blazer off so he could fight dude, because the argument is heated and shit, right? But Phil was so damn pimpish, man. He took the blazer off and he put it behind dude's back and was waving it like it was a cape. He was like, "Yeah, man, this your cape right here, man, since you want to be out here saving hoes, man. Wooty wooty whoop." That shit was funny as hell, man. And Damn, I think I had the video of that shit, man. I gotta find that video. If I could find it, I had to share that shit because that shit was hilarious. But yeah, Phil was definitely a character, man. He had me dying with that. But yeah, it was just good to see him doing his thing, man. When he was doing his thing, it was a beautiful thing, man. But yeah, man, we're gonna go ahead and wrap this thing on up. If you ain't wiped your feet off at the door when you stepped into a pimp's domain, please wipe your feet off at the door on your way out. But as always, I appreciate y'all for tuning in and tapping in with a pimp. I appreciate all the comments, questions, input, jokes, feedback, all that good stuff. I appreciate you for sharing this video. I appreciate you for subscribing. I appreciate you for hitting the bell when you subscribe. I appreciate all the super chats, the cash apps, the PayPals. I appreciate your support in every which way that you comes with it, man. Y'all already know who it is and what it is. Freeze is it. If you out moving around the track, so in a safe fashion. And of course, as always, long live the incomparable Sinful to P. We out.